My body's always there. Yeah. It's the Republic of Israel, just to be a part of
There go mommy. There go mommy. There go mommy.
This ain't nothing that ain't new to me. It's next to me. Definitely is the best to me. Yeah, it's the devil. The devil on my old ways. Ripping up the chains of my soul to the right place. This is nothing like a beautiful place.
Are you still?
No, I will never ever fade. It's the end of soldier. I'm in history.
She is.
Soldier. I'm in soldier. But in the word, my body's always there. Soldier, I'm in soldier. But in the word, my body's always there. I am a soldier for the army of the Lord, moving forward by the mighty omnivores. This serious business we got for our community. This serious business we living for this unity. The bright race raising up the brighter legacy. Bright power, assuring its supremacy. We're spoken now, must be held as future prophecy. By the power of arm, and we will hold the power seat. We tuned into mentellect, and yes, we heard the call. We raised up the name of Amen, so the beast to fall. We move this one on one path, yes, we are the Lord's. Our minds focus steady motion towards the board. Soldier, I'm in soldier. But in the word, my body's always there. Soldier, I'm in soldier. But in the word, my body's always there.
By the power of Amen, we embody the Amen beings, moving in the future with a mind of clarity as alignment. So just lay down, law and order. Building a foundation with them bright four corners, masterminds are speaking higher. Souls appear fire. We only here to manifest the truth. Mind, power, channel, mind is a deadly weapon. Thoughts of transmission, equal fully loaded ammunition. Soldier, I'm in soldier. I'm in soldier. I'm in soldier.
Soldier, I'm in soldier. But in the world, my body's always there. Soldier, I'm in soldier. But in the world, my body's always there.
I'm trying to get it perfectly, but I can't.
That's good.
My phone.
Tonight is the night we take it nice and slow. I said tonight is the night we take it nice and slow. Tonight is the night that we take it nice and slow. I want you to touch my body, soul. Caress my tongue with your words, like my soul with your ether. Lift my body with your fur. Tonight is the night we take it nice and slow. I said tonight is the night we take it As you lay my body down, let your lips kiss me down. Make me tremble with ecstasy. How delightful it is to me as we intertwine. I take it.
Yeah.
Tonight is the night. We take it nice and slow. I said tonight is the night.
All right. All right. This. Yeah, like that. Like that, she's good. All right, just. I'm ready. Just gonna take that right. All right. We're back. We live again. Sorry for all of the delays. Share that link with my mother, please. This is real. Like I said, dealing with wives and children, things of that nature. Stuff happens in the production of this cast. But yeah, I still wanted to do something today because number one, it's my birthday. So happy birthday to me. Today is my birthday. I'm 53 years old today. Well, I'm 53 years young today because I feel young. I feel marvelous. I feel great. I feel energized. And I just wanted to come on briefly on my Earth Day, bright day, birthday, and share my thoughts on topics that are trending in the news and give an intelligent and a logical breakdown of these things, so that you can all raise your minds. See, because a lot of this stuff is presented to us through the media, politics, entertainment, tragedy, everything that's taking place, world events. But if you notice, it's all done in the vein of theatrics. It's all done in the vein of controversy. All the news is controversial now. It's all presented as controversy. Why? Because people, have been trained to want a little excitement with their news. No matter what's going on, people have always been trained to want a little excitement, for, I would say a good 60, 70 years, because it was a time where, news was depressing, news was boring. And so you have the media outlets who are trying to spice up the news so that people are watching. See, watchers equals programmers. People who are being programmed, the programmees are programming the program from the programmers, are programming the programmees to produce a certain way of thinking in your mind concerning these events, concerning these circumstances and things that are played out in the media. So I'm going to speak on that. First, in the name of Amen, the Supreme, the all-powerful, the one and only true Lord, and Amen we trust, and Amen we thank it, and Amen we continue forward forever. So on my birthday, I'm going to just speak about the topics that are popular on November 14, 2023. Yes, I am 53 today, and I am glad that I got to see 53 summers under the sun, 53 summers, 53 winters, right, under the sun. And grateful for the people I've met and who I've yet to meet, and the people even who I've regretted meeting. I'm grateful for you all because you all are the sum total of my experience here on earth in this life. So enough of that. On with the, drama / news, whatever you want to call this. I'm going to speak on the Will Smith thing because it's fresh. Now, I want people to understand, or as I say, ultrastand, the bigger picture of what's being played out here. It's not just about a man and his wife and their entanglements and their circumstances and all this being played out. It's about more than that. It's about producing a look or an agenda that's being pushed to produce a look, a dysfunctional look between black men and black women as couple. They want to produce a dysfunctional look where the woman is carrying herself as a liberated, liberated, how you say, so-called women's liberated female, and the man is carrying himself like a beta male simp. And now, with these revelations that have come out about Will Smith and Dwayne Martin allegedly, and they little tryst, and this guy who's his assistant saying all this stuff about Will Smith allegedly getting the stuffing knocked out of him, not Dwayne Martin. That's all I'm gonna say on that. And it's like you heard these things for years, and it's messed up because Will Smith is or was considered to be or they were building him up to be the face of Hollywood masculinity. Hollywood was building Will Smith up to be the face of Hollywood masculinity through these roles that he played. And it's important that so-called black men, American indigenous men, because I refer to so-called black men as what they really are, American indigenous men, like Will Smith, who was an American indigenous man, bronze, copper-colored man. It's important that you do present some sort of masculinity in a time where the masculinity of the American indigenous man is being compromised and being set upon by people behind the scenes who want to have a narrative of so-called black men as homosexuals, effeminized, basically to do what? Drive black women into the arms of other men. Drive black women, so-called black women, American indigenous women into the arms of other men to cut down the birth rate of full-on American indigenous children. Put that in my mother's thing. Cut down the birth rate of full-on American indigenous children. You see, because I said this before, and I said this again, as this society is being pushed in a direction of, biracial, look of everything and where they're trying to push this at. You're seeing in the media more black women with white men, or black men, so-called black men with other men or other races of women, but never directly rarely are you starting to see so-called black men and black women together, American indigenous men and American indigenous women. Reason being is because they will produce American indigenous children. And that is not the direction that the powers that be want to go in for the future. The powers that be, they want, the people in control, who control or in charge, who are, set with, putting out a certain look, a dynamic of people in the future, this biracial thing. And, so if you can't have the two dominant people on earth, the American indigenous man, so-called black man, the American indigenous woman, so-called black woman, you can't have them mating, you can't have a family structure. So certain people want to do away with that. Thus, like I said, that's the Black Lives Matter, which was supposed to be a movement that was founded on the backs of people like George Floyd, a so-called black man, an American indigenous man, right? Real American indigenous man, looking like an Olmec. Look at George Floyd, look at the Olmec state, he like an Olmec. But here it is, this society and the people that are in charge, they want to push it more toward a multiracial society. And so people who had any leftover ideas of a so-called black man, black woman union. People, like I said, with Bill Cosby, where he did the Cosby Show, and he showed a successful American indigenous family, you know what I mean, in his home. You know, they don't want that to be the powers to be. They don't want that to be the path that, you know, our people take. They want our people to be every type of dysfunction. And it's just stories like this Will Smith thing and this Jada Pinkett thing which lead to that dysfunctionality. Right? Like I said, people have been hearing about that Will Smith thing and him, you know, doing what he do with other males for a long time, allegedly. People have been hearing that, going back to Quincy Jones, Benny Medina, you know, MC Shan put that out there about Will Smith. And again, you know, dude, the guy who's out here exposing him, I'm gonna be honest with you, the guy that's out here exposing him, he got some sugar in his tank. You know, he got a little sugar in his tank. You know, because I'm like, if you look at his movements, and he's supposed to be a Muslim dude, and they from Philly. But my thing is this, you know, if you saw some sodomite activity, some you know, that type of activity with Will Smith, who's supposed to be your homeboy, he's you know, how you feel comfortable around you seeing something like that, and then you still being around him more. You know, I'm pretty sure you've seen more stuff, and I'm like, people don't just feel comfortable doing stuff like that around people unless they get the kind of vibe that you kind of the same way, if you get what I'm saying. Again, no disrespect to you. I don't know you, and, you know, again, I'm just speaking on it because this is, you know, what's out there. Because, see, I'm looking at the bigger picture. I don't care about what these people do in their bedrooms, because I told you so-called black people, y'all bugged out of your mind anyway. You follow these Caucasians and all these other races of people that do all this crazy shit, this degenerate stuff. So what y'all do, whatever. But it's a bigger, you know, like I said, I dare say this is really just a humiliation ritual that Will Smith got to go through. He going through his humiliation ritual, you know, that the top people, the elites, putting him through. You know, and he's sitting here and he's really having, you know, he's just being humiliated. You see, and no money in the world. No money in the world. Even Bill Cosby went through his humiliation ritual, getting locked up in jail here. He go from being America's favorite dad to a damn, then they lock him up in jail for a bunch of worn out ass females who just making up stuff, but whatever, allegedly. So again, it's the same thing. Play with the lives of so-called black men. Play with their lives in the media. Expose them in the media. Meanwhile, you got these white boys out here, these Caucasian males out here doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Especially the entertainers doing whatever. Like this guy, Danny Masterson, he went to jail. He got like 30 years since, or he got hit with 30 years for sexual abuse on some females. You know, you had a lot of stuff out here that don't make the YouTube streets heavy. It don't make the news heavy. They just choose to go and put the spotlight on so-called black men. Now, poor Will Smith, even though people say they claim they live in this post-homosexual society where it's supposedly acceptable to be a homosexual and deal with same sex, yet people like Will Smith and these people are stigmatized by it. Obviously, they don't want to come out as homosexual or lesbian. A lot of people don't want to come out that way. But I told you all before, if you listen to MENTELLECT Radio, I said that, or should I say American Intelligence Radio now, I said it's going to come a time where the Caucasian powers that be, you know, they're going to use their system of white degeneracy. They're going to use their system of white degeneracy to pull you Negroes down. Be it P. Diddy, who now going through his own problems, you know, with this case with the guy, Keke D, and all that nonsense. You know, he got to answer. He may have to answer for a murder that took place over 30 years ago. Right? So I'm like, this is all their humiliation ritual. This is all staged. It's all staged. These people might do a little jail time. They might get, you know, miss a few $1 million checks and whatnot, but they're going to be all right. They'll be all right. You know, they have to be the sacrificial lambs in the bigger picture, you know, and it usually has to deal with their manhood, their masculinity, or having it chopped away at, having it, cut down. But, these people sign up for this. People sit up here and say, Will Smith personal life, with his personal life. Let me tell you something. When you're an entertainer, when you're an athlete, when you any of those things out here in the public, you don't have no personal life. You don't have a personal life. When he signed up and he wanted those $1 million checks, Will Smith, when he wanted those $1 million checks, he gave up his privacy. He gave up his privacy for everything. Because, all of that fame and fortune comes with a cost. That means you really living your life 24 hours a day in front of a camera, whether you know it or not. Maybe the only time you get is when you go to sleep or, but from the time you get up, to the time you come out your house, the time you want to go vacation somewhere, somebody's filming you, somebody's watching you, somebody's doing something to record your movements. And if Will Smith felt comfortable enough to have this guy around him, or Dwayne Martin, if they had something going on, which again, this stuff that's that heavy energy out there in Hollywood. It's a heavy, sodomite spirit out there. It's a heavy sodomite spirit out there. So a lot of you so-called weak black males, you get caught up in that sodomite spirit. You might not even have been sods. You might not have been into no man-on-man action. But by the time you get out there and you guys are ready to compromise yourself and bend over and do what you got to do, or do what you feel you got to do to get some fame and some fortune, some notoriety, and you ready to go to them private mansion parties and y'all do what y'all do and y'all getting all funky and then whatever the hell you guys doing, we know what you're doing, but when you decide to engage in that degeneracy, you can't think that it won't come back to you in some way, shape, or form. Somebody know what you're doing. People going to tell on you. People going to tell on you. It's always, and this guy was his friend because this guy was in the picture with Will Smith. He from Philly like Will Smith, and that's messed up, man. And only that Will Smith trusted in this dude. And dude didn't have to sign no what's that called, that MMD or whatever it's called. Was it? Non-disclosure, they call it NDM, whatever it's called, but non-disclosure. Will Smith didn't even make this guy sign that so he could come out and just say anything. He wrote a book. That book is going to sell a lot. That book is going to sell a lot. And basically, he's going to just confirm. He's going to confirm what everybody knew all the time about Will Smith and how he made it to where he made it, allegedly. He's just going to confirm that. I don't know why anybody acting like they shocked and surprised and, things like that. And, hey, man, that's what all of them do, man. That's what pretty much all them Hollywood people that's up there got 5 and 6 movies in the game and they got notoriety. They going to eventually go to some of them parties. They're going to see some man-on-man nonsense. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see some of that. And they're going to be asked to engage. And they're going to be told that if they engage, it will improve their career, their Hollywood standing. Now, for somebody like a Will Smith, who basically had no presence in Hollywood until, the people behind the scenes gave him a presence in Hollywood, until he linked up with the right people, wink, wink, until he linked up with the right people in the right situations and circumstances. And, I can't speak on, I just don't understand what money is just not enough for me to give away my manhood. I'm sorry. Money's not enough. You ain't got enough money to make me give up my manhood. Or do something, participate in off type of activity. You ain't got enough money. I'm sorry. I can't be bought. I can't. I'm just, tragically straight. And you got people who want to make you crooked. They want to bend you up like an arrow because what it says to them is they have the power to do that just because. They put the money in your face and ask you want to get down, and these guys thinking about, damn, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be I don't want to be a one-hit wonder, a flop. I don't want to be having to work a regular job. I don't want to have to worry about bills. I don't want to look up and be the dude in damn Walmart working and whatnot. I used to have an album, Hey man, I hear you. I just don't understand. I can't. It's got to be a better way. But unless you was already like that, now for you guys it's already like that, it ain't much of a stretch for you to do that. So, it is what it is. But that guy will make a lot of money. And like I said, he'll make a lot of money because, this society wants to see his so-called black man feminized and want his manhood taken. Because, see, that's the new thing now. And I'm going to just say this, it may be controversial and people may not like it. And I may get some, some pushback from this. But, gay men, they try to make gay males, they try to make homosexual males synonymous with masculinity. And they're not. I'm sorry, they're not. Just because you can fight, just because you can beat on your chest as you work out, and all that, but you still lay up with other males, you a punk. You a punk. I don't care if we don't like it. I don't care if the punks want to fight about it. I don't want to fight you guys. I definitely don't. You know what I'm saying? But you a punk. You a male. You're not a man. Men lay with women. That's it. That's all. Real men lay with women. Males lay with anything. Females, other males, whatever. There's a difference. And, it just is what it is. But anyway, on to this, my thoughts on this Israeli and Palestinian thing. Because you got a lot of people that's trying to get so-called black people here in America, in particular, they're trying to get so-called black people to take sides. All right? They're trying to get people to take sides in this Israeli-Palestine thing, which I don't understand why, because we're told constantly, are we not told constantly here in America that we are a minority, or at least we once were told we were a minority, and that we really have no voice in popular culture? Isn't that what we told as so-called black people, as the aka the real American indigenous people? We're told that we don't have no voice, and we are a 12 to 13% of the population here. That's what they say. So I'm like, why do you care if we vote? Why do you care if we fight wars? Why do you care if black people weigh in on Palestine or Israel? Either way, why do you care? It's not our fight. It's not so-called black people's fight. They don't have nothing to do with that. So why are they being asked what they think about that? The answer should be nothing. The same way other races of people don't think about our situation or our problems or whatnot. They have nothing to say about that. You see? So I say black people shouldn't have nothing to say about it either way. You should just mind your business. Them people have worked that out. They've been fighting with each other before I was born. They'll work it out. They'll figure it out. Somebody will come to some kind of agreement, or somebody will get killed, or enough people will get killed before these idiots come to on either side come to whatever. You're fighting over land that's going to be here long after both of you are gone. That's all I got to say. You fighting over land that you did not create. You just colonized. That go for both of y'all. That land belongs to the Lord. That land belongs to the Creator, not to none of y'all. So you fight for your right to exist there, fight for your right to be there. At the end of the day, that is the Lord's land. Those who created it, and when it comes time for them to call in the, when the lease is up on the land, then both of y'all gonna be up out of there. That's it. That's all I got to say on that. I would say this, that, it's a shame that lives have to be lost and whatnot from anybody. It's a shame that lives have to be lost. And, it is what it is. Alright. Alright, let me see what else I'm gonna talk on. Let's see a few other topics. Let's see. Which brings me back to this question again about the minority thing. By this time, I said we should have been stopped thinking that black people are a minority here in America. And again, this goes back to the Israel thing again. And my thoughts on this was the reason why people wanted black people to lean either way, because so-called black people, the real American indigenous people here in America, we are very influential in that whatever we say, whatever we say here in America, so-called black people say here in America, it rings bells all over the world. Whatever we say, whether it be through our music, whether it be through our activism or whatever's going on, our voice rings bells. That's why you got a lot of people who come and set up these black organizations, these quote-unquote black organizations, and they use black organizations as a stalking horse and as a bullhorn to push their own agenda, like Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter ain't got nothing to do with black people. Black Lives Matter has nothing to do with black people in the grassroots or out here in different black areas. It has nothing to do. Most of them people in Black Lives Matter, they are paid demonstrators. The people who was taking part in those protests. A lot of those people were paid, man. And the people behind that, like I said, those 3 females are LGBT. And not only that, a lot of those people, they answer to higher ups in the LGBT. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. Black Lives Matter is nothing but an LGBT subsidiary. That's all it is. And they're basically being used to take money, funnel money, because again, a lot of money was made off of black lives, so-called Black Lives Matter. A lot of money was made off of George Floyd's death, Tamir Rice. A lot of money's made off of that. A lot of these so-called activists who come out here and claim they're speaking up for so-called black people and black men in particular who getting shot by the police or beat up by the police. A lot of these people are full of crap, man. It's just they use the dead bodies of so-called black men and black women who are being terrorized out here by these race soldiers, as Tariq Nasheed refers to them, these race soldiers who call themselves police officers. A lot of these people are just using the deaths of so-called black people at the hands of the race soldiers as an opportunity to boost themselves, as an opportunity to promote themselves as activists, aka loud people with their own opinions and things about stuff, and they try to get shine and be seen for themselves and hopefully some money. They're looking for money. That's all these so-called activists do it for. If it was no money involved, all the activism will go out the window. You see, because my motto is this: either say something or say nothing, but don't just say anything. Either say something that's real or don't say nothing at all, but just don't say anything. And a lot of you people out here that's, fronting for these movements and these organizations like your Black Lives Matter, a lot of you people, y'all just doing that because y'all just trying to be seen. You trying to be, these people are trying to make money. They're trying to be seen. They're trying to be prominent. And they also have an agenda. If you look on the Black Lives Matter agenda, the women, they said they here to put an end to the traditional patriarchal system of man, woman, and child within the so-called black family. They said it right on their website. Now, here it is. I thought your organization was aimed at helping so-called black men, black women, and things and what they go through dealing with police brutality and how they attacked and things like that. But yet you're sitting up here on your website talking about destabilizing and breaking down the so-called black family, which they want to replace with a black female stud and a female and their kids. Basically, they want a situation like the Brat. That's what they want the so-called black community to look like Brat and her girlfriend or wife or whatever they call themselves. and they child. That's what they want, the so-called black. They don't want any more traditional black families here in America. That's basically what they're saying. They don't want no more traditional black families here in America. They want to see either the so-called black woman with another race of man, or they want to see the so-called black woman with another woman. They want to see the so-called black man with another race of woman, but really, they'd rather see him with a man. But if they know they can't break his sexuality, they can't turn him out, then he might well go ahead and do it with another woman. See, again, this is all about the control of our population, control of our numbers. That's really what it's about. It's a numbers game. And certain people are losing the game. So it's just strange to me how you say certain people are a minority, yet you're putting emphasis on what they think and what size they take. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. If they saying there's a strong Latino presence that's growing here in America, if they're making it seem like there's a strong Latino presence here that is being helped by the United States government. If there's a strong Latino presence here, then go ask the Latinos what they think about the Israel and Palestine conflict. Go ask them. Why are you worried about American so-called black people? We supposed to be so insignificant, right? Well, I mean, we don't have no influence, right? Right. Just like we 50-50 in hip hop. Whatever. Is black really a negative term for indigenous Americans? Yeah, it is. Black, and I keep saying this, black is meant to be a racial slur. I told you, black should be seen as a racial slur on American indigenous people. That's what black should have become. Just like nigger, black should be seen as a racial slur on indigenous Americans. On indigenous Americans who people want to deny that we are indigenous Americans. People want to claim we come from Africa, which is a lie, which has been debunked. There was no African slave trade and people coming on those ships. You know, there's people coming back into Africa. And I'm going to say this, even, like I said, I noticed with a lot of these pro-blacks, I was watching this guy, Professor Black Truth. You know, and I like his content, just like I like Tariq Nasheed, but this guy, Professor Black Truth, there was a woman that called in on his show. Usually I don't like listening to his call-ins because, you know, he just got a habit of being nasty with the callers. And I'm like, you talk about B1 and black first, but you nasty with the very so-called black people who support you, who call into your show. You nasty with them. And then there was a sister that called in and she talked about how we are really American indigenous people and we've always been here in America on Turtle Island and we didn't come from Africa. And he sat and he listened for like a good little second and he was like, "Oh, thank you for calling." Like in other words, he's like, "Hey, get off the phone." Like he was making it seem like what she was saying was sounding crazy. When she was being clear, she was being very eloquent and very, she was being very on point, because, you know, in our identification as American indigenous people. And I noticed these so-called pro-blacks, they tend not to, you know, especially the ones who have a YouTube presence. The pro-blacks don't usually like to speak the truth or speak the reality of who we are as American indigenous people, because they know it tends to irk some people when we tell the truth. It tends to irk some people. In other words, people expect us to live in their little lie and their little fantasy that we came from Africa on slave ships and we were sold by some African tribes and, you know, all that BS. Basically, the bullshit U.S. history, you know, from the 1800s on, you know, because 1700s going back, they told that was American history. They was telling the truth. Like, remember I said, there's a separation in the last cast between American history and U.S. history. We've been getting a stream of U.S. history for the last 200 years, full of BS, full of lies, half-truths. And now as the truth is coming out, these people don't want to hear the truth because they become comfortable with the lie. The lie is we come from Africa and thus we're going to be called African Americans. We black. And nah, man. Those are all lies. Again, we are American indigenous people from the Americas. We never came from no place else. We were here first. We are the only real Americans. Nobody else can call themselves American really nationally but us. Yet you got people sitting here doing that. You got Caucasian people doing that, Asian people doing that, when the real indigenous Americans are still here in America. They still here. And their numbers are growing. And they ain't going nowhere. They're not going nowhere. The people that actually came from someplace else who got a problem with anybody here, they should go back to where they came from. And like I said, I don't care if your family been here in America for 200 years, 250 years, 500 years. If your family came from someplace else and that's where you are from, that's who you are nationally. If your family came from Germany, if your family came from Italy, if your family came from Spain or Ireland or wherever, then that's who you are nationally. If your family came from Kenya or Nairobi, countries in Africa, if your family really did come from Africa and you came here into America, then you are an African American. But if you know your damn family did not come from no Africa and things like that, we just been here in the Americas, because again, before there was North America, our people came over from Mexico, Central America, South America. Again, these were all so-called black countries before these Asian, Mongolian Asians came over here and mixed in with the black, so-called black indigenous peoples of this land. Again, that's why you got people who look like the Mexicans today, because they are a mixture, some of them going back, of those Asians that came over here. That's why a lot of Latinos got an Asian look to them, because they were your first migrants into America. These Asians, Mongolian Asians were your first migrants into America. And this is who they show as the American, or the so-called Native Americans today. These are all descendants of those people that migrated from Mongolia, those who was running from Genghis Khan and into America. This is who they're calling the Native Americans, or the original Americans, which they're not. So who we are nationally means everything. Blacking us out, making us seem like we don't exist, that's not going to last too long, because so many people are waking up. Let's see. I'm going to keep it short because it's my birthday. Like I said, I wanted to do a little something. Why are black people afraid to claim who they are as American indigenous people? Why are they afraid of that? Why are black people afraid to claim who they are as American indigenous people? You see? Why are they afraid? Answer: because it's still that stigma of Caucasian people in America who have invested their life and their minds and their idea in being American. So now you got these people up here talking about America's a white country. America was never a white country. America was never a white country. There's no such thing as America, a white American. There's no such thing as a white anything. A white American is no such thing. The indigenous people that were here are still here. You see? And that's so-called black people. Do your history if you don't think I'm saying the truth, that the real American Indians or real American indigenous people are so-called black people, are the people who falsely being called African American, who were classified that. So, being that reality is coming at you, still got fools trying to hang on to the whole African American thing because they don't want to offend white people. They don't want to offend other races of people who want to claim that they're American, but they'll tell you African American. They'll tell you African. That a whole lie has been created just to displace us. A whole lie that is being repeated in the media. Every time I hear the word African American, I cringe. A whole lie has been constantly repeated in media and the educational system and history now, U.S. history, that we came from Africa and thus we should be calling ourselves African Americans. No. We got to stand up for the truth, because if we sit up here and co-sign on a lie that we came from Africa, that we came from someplace other than America, then we are just as guilty as the people who are lying to us. Again, the people who accept a lie from liars are just as guilty as the liars. Because at some point, somebody has to tell the truth. At some point. Because what they say, the truth will make you free. You so-called black people are not free in America because y'all live a lie. You live a lie. You believe that your skin is black. You believe that you came from Africa on slave ships. You believe that we all the same human beings, but we're not the same human race. We're not the same species or nothing. We're not. We're a totally different species from everybody. Like I said in my earlier videos, you can clearly see that we're not the same as everybody else here. We're not the same as white people. We're not the same as Asian, Eastern. We are a totally different species of people. And I said that in my earlier videos. You can clearly see it. But for those who don't, oh well, again, those are people who want to live a lie, aka a belief. All right. I'm almost done. Why do we need a real movement? And this brings me to my last point on this. Why do we need a real movement to reflect who we are as American Indigenous people? We need that. We done got all kinds of movements in the last century, in the 20th century. We got all kinds of movements that came, and though they had their pluses, they had their credits to it, they also had a lot of minuses to it, like the Pan-African thing that came through Marcus Garvey. Now, as far as the UNIA went and having so-called black people, or Negroes as they called us back then, which is really just Spanish for black, movements like that where they were pushing Pan-Africanism and, uniforming and coming together and talking about Pan-Africanism and going back to Africa and being Africans and America. Now, of course, now we know that's a load of BS, that we're not no Africans in America. We are Americans in America, American Indigenous people in America, the only real Americans here. So when Garvey came and said the whole African thing, and people started coming together based on that, yes, the unity in the community was good, but the message was wrong. The message was wrong. Again, you could take a car and you could put the wrong fluids in the wrong places, and then the car don't run. You could take the gas and put it where the oil is. You can put the oil where the gas is supposed to go. You can fill a car up with the wrong fluids and put them in the wrong place, and that means the car's not going to run. Likewise, you can fill the minds up of so-called black people here who don't know their true history, don't know where they came from, don't know anything. So you can tell them that they come from Africa on some slave ships. You can make up a lie about all these slave ships that nobody has ever found. Nobody's ever found not one slave ship here in America, because there were no slave ships going to Africa to get slaves and bringing them back to America. There were none. So again, you can lie as much as you want, but at the end of the day, who pays the price for the lie? Our people do. Because that's the reason why we run around out here ignorant, don't know who we are, following different cultures and, things like that. We up here trying to be Muslims. We up here trying to be Africans. We up here trying to be Christians. We up here trying to be Israelites. Everything but what we are, which is American Indigenous people or American Indians. That's who we really are. Let's get away from all the fantasy BS. That's who we really are. We are the real American Indigenous people. Not to be confused with the Native Americans. We are the American Indigenous people here in North America. The real American Indians or Indigenous people. Real American Indians. Because, see, they tend to forget about all the tribes. Nobody wants to talk about all the tribes, the indigenous tribes that are so-called black tribes here in America who were always here. Nobody wants to talk about them. They just want to focus on the Mongolian-looking tribes who came after us into North America, who came from a totally different continent. While we were already here in the Americas, we were already here living in the Americas, living throughout the Central and South and Mexico, and then eventually into North America. So that reality has to come out. But that's it. I touched on everything I wanted to touch on. Any questions? My lovely wife is checking for questions. And if there's no questions, I'm going to close it out because, like I said, this is some good stuff. And it's my birthday. I'm 53 today. Children are, in bed and relaxing. I'm gonna watch a little YouTube and get prepared for my MENTELLECT, my American Intelligence Radio broadcast tonight on Blog Talk.
So I asked, why do you think celebrities are airing out their business, especially the dysfunctions?
It's not that somebody, she said, somebody had a question, why do I think celebrities like airing out their business or their dysfunctions? Let me tell you something. They don't like doing that, but they have to do that. At some point, these people have to do that. That's part of their, their career path. They basically have to live their lives in front of the camera. You see, that they're handlers. See, these people got handlers. And I told you, these people are playing a role all the time. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, these people are acting. Only time they stop acting is when they go to bed. But every other time when they pretty much go out in the world, whatever they do behind the scenes is going to come to light. Like, people brought out the whole thing about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett and their little funny style parties and whatnot. You might see anything in there that, a little tryst, allegedly people brought that out. But again, these people don't have no private life. They sign up to live their life in front of the camera. So it ain't that they like to, they got to do that. Well, because, that's why, if you notice, you'll see these guys, they say, oh, these guys was coming out of this apartment at this time, they was coming out of here at this time. How do they know that these people are coming out of these places and they taking pictures of these people and they do that because their publicist gives these paparazzi or these media outlets a call, let them know they over here, because, we always want to have some kind of, connection to these people's lives, so we catch them coming out of this, right? And they act like they all surprised. Trust me, they know that they're going to be filmed, that they're going to be asked questions, that they're going to be bombarded by people about their personal life, so they just go ahead and put it out there. Anything else? Huh? Anything else?
One of our brothers asked, so when black actors have babies, are they automatically sacrificed?
Say again, when black actors have babies, what?
Are they automatically sacrificed?
Let me say this. When you see a lot of these entertainers get together, right, and you think, oh, it's a legitimate thing, they're together, understand these people are together for a reason. And, it could be for a multitude of things, and you'll see them have babies. But when as time goes on, you don't hear about those babies no more. You might hear about one main child they have. I'm not going to say no name, but as time goes on, you don't hear about the other children that follow. Because those children are 9 times out of 10 given to certain people to use in certain things and situations out there in that secret world that they live in. And that's a part of their sacrifice. That means you sacrifice yourself for this money, this lifestyle you live in. You'll even sacrifice your children if they ask you to. Certain people will ask you to. You see? And people have done that. People do not want to live below standard, below average, not have money. You got people who will kill, sacrifice, do what they got to do to secure a bag, to secure some money, to secure a lifestyle. You got people that do that every day. You got people out here who will kill their family members over insurance money. You don't think they'll sacrifice their own children so they can get millions of dollars in fame? You don't think certain people will have cords tied around children's necks, or children die mysteriously in a damn crib, or all kind of stuff that take place, man? Or people that are having babies so that maybe some billionaire could get some goddamn stem cells. Like how they take all you black female babies out of dumpsters and they take the aborted fetuses and take the stem cells from your baby to get some rich white billionaire. Like you simple ass black female doing, you abort your babies and use that as a form of contraception. But don't get me started. It's my birthday. I'm trying to chill. And it's YouTube. You know how they do. Probably gonna get 1,000 strikes behind this. But go subscribe to my MENTELLECT Patreon channel. the MENTELLECT Patreon channel. Subscribe to that. And you can hear me say what I want to say. You can't really say what you want to say, like I said last week on these YouTube streets. Subscribe to my MENTELLECT Women's channel. You got MENTELLECT Women's channel. The links are below. Listen to my American Intelligence Radio broadcast on Blog Talk tonight. You know, we got a lot of different things. But anything else? Okay. Like I said, subscribe to High and Mighty Talks. You know, this broadcast. Subscribe, share this broadcast, share the past broadcasts. You know, this is the realest broadcast. You see the production is real. You see ain't nothing made up. Ain't no me putting on makeup. Ain't no bunch of shit. You can see my wife, she's struggling. One of my wives struggling with the damn camera, trying to keep our daughters quiet, trying to do this. So it's real, man. You know, I don't mind. I like the authenticity of our cast. It ain't no made up nothing. Made mistakes and things and whatever, man. We just keep going because truth wins out over all of the shiny shit, all of the made up stuff. Truth wins out, and this is what I'm pro reality. I'm pro reality. You see, everybody, a lot of these guys out here is talking about real. It ain't real, man. A lot of these cats is fake. A lot of these cats want to ride that fake train, like the rest of these entertainers and celebrities, and some of them be willing to bend over and grab their ankles for 15 minutes of fame and a few $1 million. A lot of people are willing to do that. A lot of people have no integrity whatsoever. I don't know what that's like. I got integrity. But that's it. I'm going to close out in the name of Amen by the power of Amen. Amen we trust, and Amen we thank, and Amen we continue forward forever. Before we close, go to American Republic. Go to American Republic, www.americanrepublic worldwide, American Republic worldwide. Go to American Republic worldwide. Become a registered member of the Republic of America, the first and only real American indigenous community here in America that was set up by an indigenous American, myself. So join that for all you indigenous Americans out here in America, in South America, North America, Central America, Mexico, wherever you American indigenous people are. I'm talking about you bronze, copper-colored people. Join the Republic of America. Go to American Republic worldwide.com. And that's it. I'm out. Happy birthday to me.